Looks like I'm live. Perfect. All right. Enter. All right. Let me get a sip of my water. Hi everyone. I am really happy that you are here. I'm Floriana from Floriana from Floral Flare Studio. That is a tongue twister a bit. Anyway, if this is your first time joining one of my workshops, welcome to our Cozy Creative Pause. Today we're going to be making a paper marigold, which is one of my favorite blooms, one of my favorite flowers. And this is my setup here. A lot of you have already seen what the marigold looks like, but for reference is this flower here. I have already pre-cut my templates. All of the layers that I will be using will make one flower. So I have cut out 12 layers, petal layers, and I've used my cutting machine, my Cricut. This is a template where if you're a hand cutter, if you cut by hand, you can definitely do it. But otherwise, the SVG files that I offer in my Etsy shop are perfect for those of you who use a cutting machine. So let me take a sip of my coffee. It's been a while since I've done a live, so I'm a little bit cheeky. And I don't know if the coffee is necessarily going to help with that, but guess we'll find out. So just real quick, because I know I get this question a lot. This is the paper that I use. So it's the 65 pound or 176 GSM. That's the thickness of the paper. And I'm specifically using this color. It's the citrus cardstock paper from my local craft store, Michael's. You can also find this on Amazon, on Etsy too, I have seen. But I'm using this shade for the marigolds because I think it's a perfect blend of like the yellow and the orange, right? It's not quite yellow, it's not quite orange. It's just like eye-catching, I don't even know what it's called, marigold yellow, I guess. Don't feel like you have to use exactly that paper. I mean, it can be a little bit thinner or thicker. But the thicker you go, the harder it is to manipulate, to shape the petals, the elements. So if all you have is thicker paper, I would say size up the flowers. That will make it a little bit easier to shape. You can also experiment with other mediums or media like crepe paper or felt as well. My templates work well with those. All right, so what we're going to do is use a wooden dowel to shape the petals. Oh my gosh, there are 17 of you right now. Sweet, welcome, welcome. So I'm going to be using a wooden dowel. I'm not sure like how big this is. Maybe would that be 2/10 of an inch? I don't know, I'm not good with inches, but it's like 4 millimeters in diameter. I mean, you can use a chopstick. You can use like a thin marker, a pen. You don't necessarily need to use a wooden dowel, but basically it needs to be something that has this shape and that is smooth, which will allow you to shape the petals. But anyway, for those of you who are just joining us, just a quick reminder, I'm Floriana from Floral Flare Studio, and today we'll be making a paper marigold. Marigold, I don't know what's the right way to say it. And yeah, let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I would love to know. And I'll just continue going through the materials list. This is my glue. This is all you'll need, by the way. just something to curl the petals with, and glue, which is what I love about paper flowers, because you don't need much, right? You can do it anywhere, anytime the inspiration strikes. Strikes? I don't know. I forgot how to speak. All right, so I'm going to start by gently curling one side of the petals. And as you can see, I'm using the wooden dowel, but I'm using my hands as well. So gently curl the sides. Into my music, I need some cozy music. And then curl inwards. So we're starting at the outer layer of the small petal, index finger underneath. So I'm applying pressure, and I am then using the dowel to create that perfect curl, that perfect curve, rounded shape. Oh wow, now there's 29 of you. Sweet. This is my first time, by the way, going live on YouTube, so, and first time going live in a while. So I'm happy to see that you guys showed up. I'm happy to see that you're interested in my templates. So again, I'm from Maryland, by the way. I'm based in the US, East Coast, so Maryland. And I know for some of you, you guys were saying that 9 a.m., which is my time, Eastern Standard, is a little bit early for you guys, because I know you are from all around the world. Someone said it will be like 6 a.m. for them. So sorry about that, but yeah, let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I would love to know. Oh, okay, we have Carrie from North Carolina. Sweet, not too far. I know I have people from outside the US as well. My people in Europe. I know it's too early. Wait, no, is it too? No, it's not too early for my European people. Actually, right now, it would be, because they're 6 hours ahead, so they would be already like through like, midday. All right, so let me stop talking for a second and come back to my marigold. As you can see, I did basically the same thing for all of the petals, and I went around each corner of the petal, and I used my finger and my tool to shape it. Now you see that they're not perfect, they're not even, they shouldn't be, right? This is just a cozy crafting, perfectly imperfect session. But also, that's what I love about flowers, that flowers aren't in fact perfect. There's always imperfections, and that is what makes them beautiful. That's what makes them alive, right? Organic. And so that's what I tried to emulate with my paper flowers as well. And of course my style, like in how I design them, has evolved through the years. I've been designing paper flowers since 2019, and my style definitely has changed and evolved. Sometimes I do love creating those paper flowers where everything is just symmetrical, especially the large ones. It's so satisfying. But creating these imperfections, I think, has always been one of my traits, one of the things that I loved. And in the end, you end up with a flower that is unique, right? No two flowers are alike, even though you are using the same template. It looks hard to do and looks like it takes time and patience. Yeah, I don't see that as patience, maybe, but I see it as I just get lost in the process, and to me it's just very satisfying. I enjoy like the texture of the paper in my fingers. I enjoy shaping the paper with my hands, and so yeah, definitely need to love the process. It's 9:09 where I am. Oh sweet, so we are in the same time zone. Oh, Esther, 15:10 in Albania, so that's 3 p.m. in Albania. Shumë mirë. Shpresoj që ti jesh duke ja kaluar mirë. I have to go to a teacher's funeral today. Oh, later in the afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry about the loss of this teacher. That is always sad for the community. I hope that you are able to celebrate this teacher's life and see the impact that they had. Whew, I am a former teacher myself, and I know teachers have a very special place in my heart. I know how hard they work. He passed away from a 3-year battle with cancer. I'm sorry. So I have already shaped 2 of the layers, and at this point it's basically just the same thing, right? I am curling each side of the petals and then going and doing the same thing. So to me it's pretty easy, pretty clear, but if you guys have questions about my technique, if you want me to go slow or if you want me to show a different like side, just like let me know in the comments. But yeah, basically you are simply bringing out the 3-dimensional elements of the flower. So one thing that I do is once I've curled one side of the petal, you notice that I flip my petal layer upside down and then I do the other side. For me, it just makes more sense. It happens without even me thinking about it, but find what works for you. It would also depend on the type of material that you're using, of course. If you're using paper that is thinner than 65 pounds, you could also double up the templates. So you would use 2 layers on top of each other, and that will speed up the process. You could technically do that with 65-pound cardstock too, but again, I mean, if I'm in a pinch for time, I'll do it. Otherwise, I prefer to work individually with each layer. I just like the way that feels, and I don't know, I like working like that. So best friend, so it's gonna be harder for me today, the celebration, at the high school auditorium, and then his visitation, after which I think it's on the school football field. Are you a teacher too, Weird Dino? Or was he or were they your teacher? I'm so sorry. My heart breaks for you. I'm sending you a big virtual hug. Marigolds are actually they are beautiful, but one of the things that I love about marigolds and that inspires me to make them, especially around the fall, around this time of year, is the symbol that is connected to Dia de Muertos, the Mexican tradition, Day of the Dead, where basically they build an altar dedicated to their loved one that they have lost, with their pictures, the food that they love. They decorate it with beautiful bright marigolds, and in this Mexican tradition, Dia de Muertos, it is said that it's exactly the marigolds that guide the spirits of our loved ones who have passed. They guide their spirits back home. So on this day, Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead, they essentially come, their spirit comes and visits. Oh my gosh, I'm getting like goosebumps. The spirits come and visit their loved ones, and that's why people decorate with marigolds, and the more the better, right? So that they can see their way home. It is also said that the scent of marigolds have a very distinctive, beautiful, strong scent, and that also helps guide them home. I think it's a beautiful tradition. I think it's a beautiful way to look at death as not this, sad loss. I mean, of course, that is there. There is a place for that, but over time it gets replaced. Not even replaced. You also make room. You're also able to appreciate, right, all the experiences, all the things, all the uniqueness, the humanity that that person brought into the world. And you find a way to celebrate their life, to remember them, not with grief and sadness and sorrow, but with lightness, with, I would say, with joy. Yeah, why not? With joy, and you know, it becomes a celebration. It's beautiful. You eat the foods that they loved, and you look at their pictures and the things that they loved, and you celebrate their life. Yeah, it's a celebration of life. I love that. He's my 7th and 8th grade gym teacher. I'm in high school now. My mom knew him longer than me since she was friends with his wife. I see. I'm sorry for your loss. And again, I hope that you are able to, in addition to the grief, which is definitely needs to be felt, absolutely, but that you also find some comfort in celebrating their life and in seeing the impact that they had on the people around them. As I am curling these petals, I am doing something that's a little bit different than I was doing before. For some of you, it might be helpful. So I am starting to curl on one side like before, but then I just keep rolling and using my thumb, so index on this side, thumb on this side, using my thumb, I'm also curling the other side, and then kind of just hugging my dowel with the petal. And so this is another way that you can curl the petals. It works if your wooden dowel or your tool is a little bit bigger, like thicker, or again, depending on the material you're using. Thank you guys. Thank you for the likes. I'm seeing some thumbs up. Again, I'm very new. I'm a noob at this YouTube live thing, but I'm glad I'm able to see your comments, and I'm glad that I'm able to see some thumbs up. So sweet. I am happy. So I want to say we're halfway through, perhaps. I just want to check in. How's everyone doing? If you're crafting along, let me know how's it going for you. And again, if you're just checking, or if you're just tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. But yeah, I love marigolds. And if you have seen my videos, I like to make them in different shades too. So I've made orange ones. I have made some that have painted details on the leaves, so it'll be this color but with like some darker orange on the edges. And I have used watercolor, I have used like ink to do that with a sponge, and that adds even more to the three-dimensionality of it all. So just to show you, just to demonstrate for you guys what I was talking about earlier, how you can take two petals, 2 layers, stack them up, and I think I need to stack this up this way so that they're like evenly. And then you can do the same thing, the same movements, but now because I've stacked these up, it's a little bit harder. I have to put a little bit more elbow grease, but still the same effect. This is a good trick if you are, I don't know, short on time, if you are in a rush, I don't know, you can do that. With 65-pound cardstock, I prefer to use just one layer at a time, or to curl one layer at a time, but I'm also realizing that I may be speaking too low. I'm not sure how my volume is coming across, so let me know if my volume is too low or maybe too high. I don't know. Oh, fifth petal. Okay, Esther. Esther, I'm curious, what are you using to curl your petals? Are you using a wooden dowel or a different tool? I'm curious to know. I don't know if in Albania, I mean, I know things have changed too, but I know that sometimes it can be hard to find crafting tools, materials. So I'm just curious. So yeah, oh, I didn't show you guys. So yeah, that was the double, and then you see two. I'm making an orange one with you. Sweet. Love it, Carrie. I would love to see like how it comes out. So if you could tag me, or I don't know, send it to me somehow, I would love to see it. Okay, perfect. All right, so guys, if you have to go, no worries. I will be sharing the live so you can watch it or rewatch it at your own time, at your own pace. So no worries. I appreciate you tuning in. It really means the world, especially after not doing these lives for a while. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to be interested. So I appreciate you guys showing up and engaging with me. No worries. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Weird Dino, for liking and subscribing. Appreciate it. You take care, all right? Esther says she's using a chopstick. Perfect. That's perfect. Chopstick. I've actually never used a chopstick. I only had this idea like the other day because I mean, I still do. I have this set of chopsticks at home, but they're not round. They are like kind of like a squarish shape. So I never even thought of using chopsticks. And then one day we got carry out, and the chopsticks that they had included with our carry out were round, and I was like, oh, sweet. But I haven't, so I know now that that can be another thing that I can use. I just haven't done it yet. My usual go-to, if I can't use a dowel for whatever reason, is I have used like thin markers, or there's like ink pens, because they are so smooth and round, so it's very easy. But I like the wooden texture because it's smooth, but also has a bit of a grip to it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's very personal, I think, very subjective. It's whatever you like to feel with your hands. There's certain textures that I love feeling with my hands, and then there's other textures that just give me the ick. I don't know how to explain it. All right, so sorry if I went too fast, but you know, that's the cool thing about these lives, and the fact that I will be sharing them after, so you guys can watch, rewatch, rewind if you need to, as much as you want to. So now our second step is going to be to layer the petals. And let me just check the time. Okay, so 9:26. So it took us like 30 minutes to do the first step. Now I'm using my Barely Arts glue, the Precision Craft glue. I love the tip. It's super like thin, which allows you to have great control over how much glue you're using, and it's also great for like little small detailed projects. So that is what I use. I do have a code, I can't remember it right now, but if you go on my bio on my Instagram, I guess also on YouTube, you will be able to see like my code and get a discount. But yeah, this is the glue that I use in addition to my hot glue. These are the two glues that I basically use for my projects. So now you'll notice that there is a hole. I guess I should address this. There's like a little hole in the middle, and you may be wondering why. Maybe you already know, but for those of you who don't know, it's because, well, two reasons. The first reason is that it allows you to stack, right? When we assemble, we're going to stack all these layers together, and the center, the hole in the center shows you where the center is, so you're not accidentally, I don't know, gluing it a little bit off center, right? So that's the first reason. And then the second reason is that this will allow you to add a stem, if you choose to your flowers. So what I'm going to do is add glue to the bottom of the layer. So you know how we curled it, right? All the curls should be facing up, right? So when you look at it from the side, they should be making these like U shape. But to add the glue, I'm going to flip it. Add some glue and then flip it back so that I can adhere it to this bottom layer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate the placement of the petals. So I'm not going to do this, right? Because then I wouldn't be seeing the petals underneath. So I'm going to go a little bit to the side so that I can, what's the word? Fill in, right? The negative space. And I also usually like to look at my project, like I like to have an aerial view of it. So right now, for example, I'm standing. So that's why I'm bringing my petals a little bit closer to me, because otherwise I would put like my head here and I don't want to block the view. So this is what the first two petals look like. So their placement is alternated. So you don't see any negative space, just petals. Okay, so that's the first step. And then all the other steps are the same as the first steps, right? I'm going to continue, and again, I'm going to try to fill in the, even though it's technically not negative space, because I can see the petals underneath, right? But I'm still going to try to fill this space, if that makes sense, because there's still some room here. So this is the place I'm going to try to fill. So with each new layer, you're alternating the placement. And then that little hole in the center really helps to keep everything super like round, right? So we're not going too far off the center, the stem, which can be the stem. All right. Now, as you're adding in more layers, you will see the height of the flower starting to form. So at this point, you could start to also shape the petals a little bit, give them a little bit of a lift. Don't really need to do much at this point because we're still building sort of like the base of the flower. Continuing with the same technique. I wonder maybe if I bring this up a little bit. Oh, there we go. So just a little a little lift like that. But the lift also naturally occurs because each new layer is sitting on top of these other petals. So you're just guiding the paper slightly. And then also try to have the petal placement alternate. Because of the shape, they're gonna naturally try to like fit into each other, like, you know, because they fit very well. But you need to guide them so that they don't fit together. How many layers do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 layers so far. And this is what we have. Again, don't worry if you guys are still curling your petals. You can rewatch the replay. You watch the replay? Sure. You guys know what I mean? And by the way, you can use any type of glue that you have. If you're using hot glue, you know, you just have to know that it will dry fast. So you really want to nail down the placement. You really want to be sure that you're placing it where you want it, because you're not going to have as much time to move it around once you place it, versus with just like regular glue, craft glue, kind of this type of glue, that gives you a little bit more time to place your layer and then like move it around, because it takes a little bit more time for it to dry. So both glues work, but they have different properties, and so there's different things, these small things that you need to be mindful of. All right, so now I'm going to start to shape them a little bit more. So I'm going to gather them up like this and then let go. And so you see they're a little bit more upright as we're getting closer to the center. But we're like halfway through right now. It could also be helpful as you're going through, closer to the center, to use your wooden dowel, your chopstick, your marker, or whatever tool to press down, because it might be harder, you know, to use your fingers. So wooden dowel, chopstick, marker is perfect to press down. If you're using hot glue though, you probably won't need it as much, but it's nice to know. So I love this like fluffiness that is created. Add some glue. I'm gonna place it now. As you're getting closer to the center, it's well, there's two things that happen. It does get a little bit harder to line up the layer in such a way that you're alternating the petals, because they all kind of gather up. And for that reason, it's not as important to, you know, try to alternate them, because they become sort of random in this, like as they're getting closer to the center. So what I do, when I place it, I still try to fill in like this, like I choose one, or like I choose 2 petals. So I choose to fill this space with a petal, right? So I try to line it up. I just try to line up 1 petal. Then, however the others fall, it's going to be random, and it doesn't matter. Okay. So I remember in the beginning I was stressing out when I made my like first one. I was like, oh, how am I going to line these up? But then I realized that it doesn't matter as you get close to the center. I'm still going to try to line up this one over there. as you can see, or as you'll be able to see in a second, as the space gets tighter, they are literally on top of each other and all around, so it doesn't matter. Okay. I'm still using the same technique to make these petals come together and make them tight like this as we're finishing up with our final layers. Adding glue in the bottom, and then here I'm not even going to try to line it up. Well, maybe, okay, I can't help it, I do line up at least one. But that's me, that's just how I function. You guys don't have to. Oh, see, the one came undone. All right, let's try that again. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to hold it and I'm going to go down with a wooden dowel. I'm trying not to get my head. My head really wants to be like right here. Because I again, it's helpful to look at your project from an aerial view, but trying to do my best because I want you guys to have the aerial view. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I love it. Love, love, love. Okay. One last layer. And for this, there's two ways that you can go about it. You can gather up your petals like so. And then add glue kind of randomly in between the petals, and then hold it, dry it so that it becomes the bud. Or you can add it to the flower and then form the bud. It's really up to you. I personally prefer to form the bud before and then place it in the middle. Yeah, it really, do whatever you find is easier for you. So I close the petals tightly, and then I let them go, and I kind of see where naturally the shapes are formed, where the petals naturally overlap with each other. Here, here, here. So this is where I'm going to add the glue, like in between these petals here, so that they kind of stay together. They don't have to all stay together. It's okay if some come undone, some stay together, but that's what I'm going for, right? Because this is the bud and I want it to be as tight as possible. So I'm adding some glue, and you can see I'm adding it right where I see that the petals overlap with each other. Kind of. I missed the mark there a bit, but that's all right, because I am going to bring them together like I did earlier. And obviously, if you're using hot glue, here is where you have to use your common sense and be careful to not burn yourself. And with hot glue, you basically just bring them in, and you don't even close them in all the way. You softly and gently bring them in because the glue dries right away. But with regular craft glue, you want to bring it in and you want to hold it for a couple of minutes, because craft glue, including this that I'm using, does take a little bit of time to dry. However, the cool thing about the craft glue is that it does dry clear. So as you saw, I was applying it liberally. I wasn't really being careful. Whereas with hot glue, it does dry clear, but it does have more volume. You can like see it. Sometimes you see like the little bumps. So you want to be more careful with it. And I'm going to check it a little bit. So I'm going to slightly let go. It's probably still in the process of drying. Okay. Okay, so it's a little too perfect, so I'm just going to move it a little bit. Undo my work, if you will, because I want it to be half open, right? Like that. All right. And since I'm going to put it in the middle, even though it's still in the process of drying, I don't have to wait for it to dry completely because it's going to be held in by the other petals anyways. So once you have a shape that, again, it shouldn't be perfect, it shouldn't be symmetrical, it should be organic. It should be just what it is. Once we have that, we're going to add it in the center, and this is really the last step. So then I'm going to use my tool to press firmly in the center. Ta-da! And here is my marigold. Ready to be beautiful. So we used 12 layers to make this flower. Could you use fewer layers? Sure, but I find that this number really creates those beautiful, fluffy, puffy, lush marigolds. So that is what I like to use. Oh, thank you, Carrie. I hope yours is coming along well. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If you make your marigold, again, tag me so that I can see your creation. It truly like brightens my day when I see your guys' versions, because like we said in the beginning, even though we're using the same template, each flower is unique. Each flower ends up being one of a kind because you're creating it with your hands. So even if you see these two versions, I see differences in them as well. So yeah, please share with me Flora Flair Studio. You can find me obviously on Instagram. I think most of you are coming from Instagram. If you want to DM me there. I don't know how it works on YouTube, if you can DM, if you can like share pictures and stuff. But yeah, share and tag me. I know I will see it somewhere. I would love to. It would make my day, if not my week. So I'm going to leave you guys here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your night. Ester, faleminderit që ishe këtu, shpresoj që u kënaqe dhe që mësove diçka. I'm saying thank you to my Albanian crafty friend. Thank you to all of you. I hope you guys learned something new today, or I hope you had, you know, even if you didn't craft along, even if you were here just to chat, I hope that you had a cozy morning, a cozy afternoon, or a cozy evening. And I will see you again for another live. I will try to announce it here on YouTube, but my main place where I update you guys with everything that's going on is, of course, Instagram. So make sure you follow me there if you are not already. And as always, happy crafting. Bye, guys.